I'm ready when you are.
Let's go. I'm very excited about this episode, actually.
Are
Uh,
you? Ooh.
yeah, this is like one of my favorite shows, games, people growing up. So definitely ready to get into it. For everybody listening, welcome to the Way Back Wednesday podcast. I am Lance Falatongo,
And I'm Sepha M.
and this is a nostalgic podcast conversation about the X-Men. Let's
Let's
get it.
go.
What we gonna do right here is go back, way back, back into time.
So we weren't sure what we were gonna record today. Um we actually are recording on a day that's not our own day because Thursday we was kind of caught up. I was caught up too.
Same.
Um and so last night we came down to three suggestions. Well, Lance came down to three. Lance does all the behind the scenes work for y'all. I just show up. So we did three suggestions, and I said, "Whatever you with, I'm with all three of them. It's whatever." And I think Lance was he was a little giddy out the gate. You know what I'm saying? He was a little excited to get to this. So go ahead and introduce it for us, my brother.
Yo, the X-Men comic
Mm,
book started in 1963, illustrated by Jack Kirby, written by Stan Lee,
mm,
about a superhero team of mutant humans
mm-hmm.
that use their powers for good to fight bad mutants, and also to fight against humans that are scared of them and trying to lock them in jail or hurt them. So
Yeah.
the show, the comic book, the movies follow this team or their members that you may recognize: Professor X, Wolverine, Cyclops, Beast, all those guys that we're going to get into. But yeah, these adventures, the TV show started in 1992, so that
Mm-hmm.
was like a big entry point for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
from 1992 to 1997. Yeah, one of my favorite shows to watch on Saturdays, or if
Mm.
it came on during the week, whenever. Uh, yeah, just a bunch of really cool superhero characters, and then all doing it for the right reasons. But yeah, what about you? When did you first start getting into X-Men, and how?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the cartoon, um, the original cartoon, right? From
Hmm.
'92. I think that was a lot of people's, first exposure, and that was my show. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my show, man. I used to love that show. Um, it kind of blended in a little bit with the Spider-Man.
Hmm.
Spider-Man and X-Men to me were very similar. Like the animation was very similar,
Yeah.
and the storylines too were a little similar. So those two were really good. And another animated show that I watched, the superhero, was the Batman show, but it was a different type of animation. You remember the original Batman?
It was like a smoother animation. I feel like the X-Men and the Spider-Man were very hand drawn, you can tell.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the
Um,
Batman one was like a newer animation, you said?
no, I think it was around the same time, but it was just different. Like I could tell. Like you know
Darker?
how yeah, they just it was just different signature style of animation. You know how you can so if we watch an X-Men, but there's no X-Men on the screen, it's just like background or it's just like a scenery footage. You could tell, oh, that's X-Men just the way that it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like between X-Men and Spider-Man with a scenery shot, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference because their animations are so similar to me. But with the Batman, I could tell like, oh, that's not, that's Batman, not X-Men, or that's X-Men, not Batman. But those were like very early on. Those were like some of the shows that I used to watch.
The foundational cartoons or TV shows from that era.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially talking about superheroes and everything that the superhero genre is now.
Mhm.
We got off of those shows in the 90s. Like
Yeah.
the skyscrapers of New York with Spidey swinging through them. I feel like that's pretty iconic. The X-Men all teaming up. I think they were in New York, but it doesn't look like freaking New York
It
City.
looks like in
It's
the
like
jungle. It looks like in the
Westchester.
it looks like in the like foresty, I remember.
Well, I mean, their school, like the X Mansion, Professor Xavier's School for the Gifted, is in like Western New York State. So it's more like like a rural or a foresty place instead of like big city,
Mhm.
stuff like that. But Professor X versus Magneto, they were the heads
Yeah.
of the two teams. Professor Charles Xavier,
Mhm.
who had psychic powers and was able to control people, like super
Mhm.
strong telepathy,
Yeah.
and whatever the mind control word is, versus Magneto.
Telekinesis.
Yeah, there you go.
Telekinesis. You know what I'm saying? He's bending spoons in his sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Versus Magneto, who
Mhm.
has the ability to control and manipulate
Mhm.
any metal, anywhere.
Yeah.
When you think about it, that's a very strong power. But apparently, they were friends, and then their ideals separated. So Charles Xavier's like, humans are just scared, but we need to foster a good relationship. And
Mhm.
Magneto's like, humans are trying to kill us. We need to kill them, make sure all the mutants are safe,
Mhm.
peace through strength type stuff. So they butted heads there and eventually made two different teams that go about their way in this mutant world two entirely different ways. The X-Men are all about protecting mutants, um, defending them against bad mutants or humans, and then the Brotherhood with Magneto.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
about executing Magneto's master plan and whatever needs to happen for that. They got all the strong bad guys: Sabretooth, Juggernaut, Mystique, that can do all sorts of stuff. So I mean, it definitely led to great battles, and great matchups versus these different mutants, and it was cool to see everybody's different powers and different strengths and how they matched up on each other.
I,
Did you
I'm
have? Oh,
I'm
good.
not gonna lie, bro. I think X-Men is the reason why a lot of my cousins was gang banging because we
What?
we grew up watching a cartoon about gang banging. Like they was literally gangs. They was just gang banging. Like they was just going around the city trying to claim territory, trying to recruit members. You know what I'm saying? It was like, nah, you part of the mansion, X-Men, and it was like X-Men versus Brotherhood. Like they was really gang banging, and like yeah, that's probably why a lot of my cousins fell into that trap because that mug was cool. It was like, I want to be an X-Man.
Yeah.
But they was just, you know what I mean? It was just different gangs. But now that I'm looking at it, like literally, bro, it was like Magneto and his little homies versus Charles Xavier and his little homies. And then meet up and just fight. Just fight. Just
Yeah. Get out of our way. No, we won't. All right, then here we go again.
yeah, like so yeah, shout out to X-Men for glorifying the street life, man. Y'all are the reason. Y'all are the reason my folks is locked up, man. God damn, man. We needed to watch more Teletubbies or freaking Care Bears. Did you have a favorite?
Oh, Wolverine, man. Pretty basic. A lot of people like Wolverine. Super gruff, super strong, super tough. Has like healing powers and also an adamantium skeleton that also includes like these three long, sharp claws that come out his knuckles that he can slash away people with. But yeah, he was always angry. He was always talking
Yeah.
smack to Cyclops. Didn't really like him, and he was always given these like one-liners that would end in "bub." It's yeah. I thought Wolverine was badass. He
I
was definitely my
hated
favorite.
I hated Wolverine, bro. He gave off like such short man complex. Like he was this little 5'4" dude and he was always
Yeah.
trying to overcompensate and say
You
he
want to
wasn't
take it
shit.
outside?
Yeah, like bruh. It's like, dude, Scott was just trying to say good morning. He's like, I don't have good mornings. My mornings are bad. Like I've been fighting since World War One.
So
Like, bruh,
old.
ain't nobody even ask you. Like Scott just wanted to see if you wanted, some creamer in your coffee, and all of a sudden you trying to fight because Jean Grey walked into the lobby. As soon as Jean Grey
Oh,
walked in, all of a sudden he want to be all strong, macho man. Yeah, I never liked him until the movies, until like the
Hugh
live action
Jackman.
movie. Yeah, but before that, I used to hate Wolverine, bro. He was so annoying, and
He's
I
a
feel like
jerk.
he always went against the plot. Like they would say, "Oh yeah, we got a plan. We're gonna do this and this and this," and he's just like, "Get out of my way!" Like,
I'm
bro,
just
what the
gonna
heck?
slash through them.
Yeah, like so. I never like. Honestly, I did like. I used to like what's his name, Cyclops.
Yeah,
It's like
Scott Summers.
just because the power was cool. That was a dope power. Just anywhere you look is dead.
He could
I
do
don't
energy beams out of his eyes.
I don't know if did it like deplete his life? Like could he just keep using it?
Mm.
Like what I don't know how that worked.
I think it took some energy from him, so eventually he would have to stop. But that like visor goggle things that he has
Yeah. Hmm.
was supposed to like help focus and control it. So maybe that helps him not like just blast out a nuclear explosion worth of energy rays and then
Yeah.
passing out. I think he would just like pass out after he did that.
I thought he was tight. I thought Nightcrawler was tight.
Bro, I think
It
Nightcrawler was my go-to pick for like the arcade X-Men game. I would just be jumping
okay.
all over the screen, flipping
Oh
people,
my
knocking them out.
god, X-Men games. Oh my, I totally didn't even think about the games.
Bro.
What was it? Marvel vs. Capcom?
Oh my gosh. What a
Come on.
awesome fighting video game with all the greatest characters. Street Fighter people, all the freaking Marvel people.
Spider-Man. I remember Captain America. He had that thing where you could
Oh,
use your
yep, yep.
shield and you run through. Oh my god. Remember you had to fight Onslaught?
Ooh.
It was like one of the like the bosses of the
Hmm.
level, and it was just like this big old figure. It was Onslaught was like the whole background. Like yeah, Google that. Like
Yeah.
you had to fight the whole background, and you just had to wait for him to swipe at you, and then you
So you
jump
can
or
hit
you
him.
roll or whatever, and then you hit him in the face or something. And it was like, yeah, fighting Onslaught was like the last. That was like the last level of the little
Jeez.
arcade mode, and I hated him so much, bro.
That seems like very hard. This is like some Mike Tyson boss level look. Looks like
Oh,
a
that
Sentinel mixed with Spawn.
yeah,
Damn,
yeah. It was terrible. It's
huge.
crazy. I used to hate that level.
I don't think
But
I was it that on like the career mode or the story mode or like
yes,
the one
like
player.
yeah, like a one player arcade mode or something like that.
Gotcha.
You had to beat everybody. Like you had to beat like 5 people, and then you get to that, and then you had to.
I definitely never got that far in the game.
It
I was
wasn't that
not that
fun.
good.
I was about to say, I bet you I could beat you, but now I know
Bro, who would you pick for Marvel versus Capcom? You get three people, right? Because I would always get Wolverine, Spider-Man, and then some other random. But did you have like three people you would pick?
I had Wolverine. Wolverine was hard. I think Captain America was hard, and then um, I don't know. I gotta look at the. I know Wolverine though.
Mm,
He had the hardest. I remember his one because it would go like, whoosh, like he would slash up, and
mhm.
that was the best for me. That was the easiest way to hit onslaught. So I used to use Wolverine. I used to use that move all the time, and I know I used to pick Spider Man because he was cool. I used to think Spider Man was so cool, and I don't know who the third would have been, but I want to say maybe Captain America because I know I use Captain America a lot. Uh, but I don't know. I gotta look at the character list.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the characters right now. That's I'm trying to maybe Incredible Hulk or something, some big guy to offset Spider-Man's like agility. Not as strong, but definitely could move around the screen. Was
Hmm.
Peter Parker Spider-Man, but
Hmm.
try to get a really even team. That's crazy. Like we didn't even think about the games. We were so focused on the TV shows, all the different movies and iterations
Yeah.
that have come out, like X-Men, Days of Future Past, which is like a prequel series to X-Men,
Oh,
and then there's
we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that.
you
How about
and
say,
then the new X-Men TV shows and movies that are coming out. So
yeah.
a lot of stuff going on, and also video games, toys, media, everything like that. But the movies, um, I think X-Men 1 and 2, X-Men and then X-Men 2 United, like early 2000s before 2010 were their biggest um, like movie entries,
Hmm.
as well as Days of Future Past with I forget who the actors are that they use, but those guys are really good.
Isn't
James
Fassbender one of them?
McAvoy, yeah, Michael
Michael
Fassbender,
Fassbender.
James McAvoy were Magneto and Professor X. That was rated really high. I think that was
Hmm.
like a 85, 89 on like Rotten Tomatoes, um, and then X-Men 2 was also almost a 90. And then a bunch of others like shoot offs, sequels,
That,
prequels.
bro, you talk about milking the cow till the cow is dry, bro. That's that I was watch so in preparation, which is really rare of me. In preparation for today, I watched some videos about the cinematic universe of X-Men and watch it, bro. Even watching a video about the movies and like for the dude to say, "Hey, this is confusing, so we're gonna break it down."
Damn.
I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like it was so bad after X-Men 2. I mean, Days of Future Past probably did really well, but other than that, like all of the movies that came out outside of Logan, I loved
Oh
Logan.
yeah.
Dang, see, I'm a super Wolverine fan, but I hated him in the beginning. I just hated him in the cartoon version.
Are you a
Um,
Hugh Jackman fan? Is that what it is?
yeah, you
Australian.
know. Hey, hey, what's that movie? What's that movie? The Greatest Showman on Earth. That movie's
Yeah,
great, bro.
yeah, yeah,
Shout out to the Greatest Showman on Earth.
yeah. That's one of Sammy's
Um,
favorites. I think we watch that at least once a year.
yeah, that movie's awesome. Um, so yeah, man, what was I saying?
Oh, X-Men Logan.
Oh yeah, outside of Logan and outside the first two X-Men and outside of Days of Future Past, the X-Men movies was all over the place. I think after one of those newer X-Men versions, they were kind of like, okay, everything is going to be singular to that movie. Like nothing is going to connect with each other, but they're all
Oh,
going
gotcha.
to but they're all supposed to connect back to the original. And it was funny because they showed like there was a scene in 1980 something, and they were like, okay, so he goes from James McAvoy, and 6 years later, he looks like what's his name? Picard. What's his name?
Yeah, man. Freaking, what is his name? I'm looking it up.
He looks like the dude from Star Trek. Like in a
Yeah,
matter
that's
of
him. Yeah,
4 years in the
Patrick
movie,
Stewart.
Patrick Stewart. So he goes from McAvoy, and then 4 years later, and he's this old shriveled up white man in a wheelchair. And in the matter of 4 years. And the funniest thing is, I had just watched another because I be on YouTube just watching random stuff. I had just watched another clip about Harry Potter, and he goes from the dude that's playing Dumbledore, and it's like some
Hmm.
young guy, and it's like in 8 years, then he looks like the old Dumbledore from Harry Potter. And they're just like, they're like, that's a rough 8 years, bro. He aged like 80 years in 8 years.
He
Like,
went from like a old adult to like a freaking ancient,
yeah.
withered, battle tested super wizard.
Yeah. So did you like any of the X-Men movies? Like,
Man, those X-Men movies came out in like 2000, so I was like 11 years old. I loved them.
mhm,
That was my time to be
yeah.
watching these like sort of mutant superhero
Hmm.
yeah, type shows. So definitely X-Men. That first X-Men, seeing some of those characters that we were talking about from the TV show as live action people
Yeah.
was dope. It also felt like a new chapter, like in my life and the franchise. Like it was like, okay, this we're going from cartoons to like, oh, it's real
Yeah.
life now. We're
Yeah.
really slicing up Mystique. We're really like gonna take the freaking Statue of Liberty and turn it into like it was. Uh, Felt a little bit more grown up,
Hmm.
but definitely made it a big movie, I think, for me and a lot of people seeing that for the first time. I remember Spider-Man, when Spider-Man got turned into a movie, that was
Hmm.
the first time I saw a line down the block in front of the Newly Place Cinemas in American Samoa. That was the first time I
Yeah.
saw a line to the movie theater. And I was like, damn, I'm excited to get in the back of that line. I don't care. This is going to be one of the greatest movies ever. That same kind of feeling uh, Not to that extent, but that same type of feeling for X-Men when it came out definitely hit me. I was very excited about that. And then the sequel, X-Men 2, was also good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like early 2000s though. What
I'm
about
not
you?
gonna lie, man. I gotta say it. I gotta say this, and I'm saying it, and I bet y'all to challenge me or to disagree with me or whatever. Hugh Jackman is the greatest casted actor for any role from like a previous, like, like a, whether it be a cartoon, whether it be a book, like where they take this piece of media, they take this piece of literature, they take this piece of comic book or whatever and translate it into like a real film. There's nobody that was better casted. And I understand Robert Downey Jr., right? I understand Robert Downey Jr. might be in the talks, but let's be real, man. Iron Man wasn't nobody before the movies. Iron Man was nobody before the movies. Nobody knew about Iron Man. I
For
mean,
real.
he was there and he had iron, but
You
like he
might have played
wasn't,
the Game Boy game because that's all you had. You might have
you know.
accidentally seen the show because you were waiting for another one, but
But nobody like, I mean, I'm sure like there was like comic book fans who cared, but nobody
yeah.
cared about Iron Man before that. But Wolverine came in. So Iron Man, I'm saying that to say Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. came in with very low expectations. And it was like,
Yo, for real.
I feel like the Iron Man character is more Robert Downey Jr. than Iron Man. Like I think he brought his charismatic,
Personal.
yeah, and I think that kind of that drove that character. But when it comes to adaptation wise, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, Logan, whatever you want to call him, that is the great. It's better than Harry Potter. It's better than, I mean, Jennifer Lawrence with Katniss. That was a pretty good one too. From the books to the all of them. Twilight. You can't think of nothing else, bro. Like Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
Yeah,
That's it. They
for real.
can never cast another Wolverine. They have to wait until everyone who grew up on this dies. Like they
Yeah.
have to wait until I die to bring a new Wolverine in because it's just not going to work. They brought in a new Professor X, a new Magneto,
Mm-hmm.
They brought in all these new whatever.
Dang, for real. And it's always the same Wolverine.
They can never replace Hugh Jackman. They
Yeah.
should never replace. He needs to be 104. Come on, Bob, rolling in free in a wheelchair. I swear, y'all or they better hike him up with some, with some suspender in the air and just have him move his body like a like a puppet, like a puppeteer.
Puppeteer.
Yeah, make him fight or something.
Stay in there,
CGI.
Hugh.
Yeah.
This guy's been Wolverine for 23 years.
Yep.
Since
And
2000.
and he's 23 more. 23 more.
Yo, they did the was it Logan, the supposed to be the final movie for Wolverine and Hugh Jackman, where he like literally is in the movie, his character is starting to age and get old and lose some of that power. That was Logan.
Have you not watched it?
No, I did. I just forget the name.
Oh,
Was that
yeah, that was it.
and the little girl who's like him? But
It's
like
his daughter.
what?
I think they took his DNA and made her. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, dang.
I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. I could make that. I probably made that up. Like, oh, that's nice. That's his daughter. They made his daughter.
Look, do you know how many movies Hugh Jackman was in before he became Wolverine in 2000?
None.
He
He was in no movie before X-Men. And aside from Greatest Showman, he's never been in another movie that any of us care about. And I'm sorry, Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman, you my dog, but like
But
if
you
you don't
also
have
Wolverine.
yeah, if you don't got metal coming out your claws, we probably gonna pass up on it.
You better be singing.
Yeah, well, no, I love Greatest Showman. Though. I didn't know, bro. That was so crazy to me seeing him not kill people. Like watching.
Oh, he was in The Prestige too. Bro,
Oh,
have you ever
Lord.
seen The Prestige?
All I know about that is Call of Duty when you level your guns up and you get gold.
Man, there is there is a really dope like thriller mystery movie starring Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. I think Alfred from
What?
Batman is also in it.
They got all these superhero people not being superheroes. That's illegal.
Oh yeah. Black Widow's in it. Scarlett Johansson
First
is
of
in
all, don't do that.
it.
You about to get me in trouble. My girl gonna bust in the door. What you say?
Oh no, is that not good?
Don't do that to Scarlett Johansson, bro. Don't do that. She's not
Oh,
Black
okay.
Widow. She's not Black Widow, bro. You know
What
who
is-
she is. We all know who she is.
What is she?
She's the Scarlett Johansson.
Oh. Colin Jost's life manager, Scarlett Johansson. She's in it too. Like if you haven't seen that one, definitely check that out. I think it's great. Also watch Forrest Gump. Have you watched Forrest Gump yet?
So what else?
Bro, get on that.
Wait, is Scarlett Johansson is Forrest Gump? What do you?
No. Just add it to the list of movies.
Okay, that has nothing to do with anything right now. You just brought that guy up. Forrest Gump was the first man on the moon.
Somebody tell this man how good a movie that is. But yeah, Hugh Jackman was in a bunch of like TV shows, a couple of TV shows, and like 2 offshoot movies before Wolverine, and then he's done like 10 different movies just as Logan.
I wonder how much money he gets. He better be the
I can
highest
check.
paid. He better be the highest paid in like everything after like X-Men 2 or I don't know. Yeah.
Contract for Money, X-Men, Wolverine.
They got a new Storm. Didn't they get a new Cyclops? Like they changed everybody around except for Wolverine. They never recasted him. Come on, bro.
Yeah, $500,000.
Nah, I know.
That's for
the first one,
the
right?
First Wolverine, or for the first X-Men.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeez, and then he's been paid up to $20 million for some of the later movies.
Right.
Hugh Jackman's estimated net worth is $180 million.
Yep. Put some respect on his name.
Damn. Shout out Hugh Jackman.
Oh, also, we didn't talk about this in the TV show section, but as much as I love the original X-Men cartoon, I was a big fan of X-Men Evolutions. Did you ever watch that?
Is that another cartoon show?
Yeah.
I'm blanking right now hearing it, but what was it about?
It was basically the same thing, but it was just a different cast. They focused on different people. I think the first person, and I remember the first episode, it was about the girl Kitty. She could walk through walls. And she was sleeping, and like half of her body was going down like below,
phasing down. Oh, I remember this one. This one looked a little weirder animation wise to me, but this was like a newer one.
Yeah, I used to love. So this was the show that I grew up watching on Saturday mornings. The other X-Men, it was all reruns.
Gotcha.
But this show I grew up watching Saturday mornings, watching them brand new episodes. They had a kid named Spike. He could shoot wooden stakes out of his hands and stuff. That show was legit, bro. Like it was in the same era with like Static Shock, you know what I'm saying, and Batman Beyond, the new Justice League. It was like in that era,
I'm seeing
it was hard. I think it was a Kids WB show.
Yeah,
that show was hard. That show was hard. I don't think that show gets talked about enough. But yeah, X-Men Evolutions, that was a big deal for me.
I definitely watched this when it was playing. Also, shout out to Static Shock. That's another really great show that I grew up watching.
That show literally was about gangbanging. The people who had powers were called Bang Babies, and it took place in Chicago. The gang capital. Well, LA gang capital, but the second gang capital. So that show was crazy.
Static Shock, too. Static Shock, a black superhero kid with his like white friend that would like help him do all the tech stuff and learning
Mm.
his static electric abilities.
Ain't
That
that
was
messed up?
that was
Ain't that
different.
messed up? You get a black um superhero to headline a show, and he's flying around on a trash can lid for
On
like
an
the whole
extendable
season.
metal pizza slice that opens up.
No, that was cool before, but I mean that was cool after. But before that, he
He
was
was just
literally on a
riding,
trash can lid, like it was a metal trash can lid. That's what he used to ride around on it.
and he was like
Um,
elevating it with his power.
yeah, shout out to Static Shock, man. Shout out to X Man though. What else we got, bro?
Well, I'm looking at this the evolution animation, and it is like that. I feel like the rest of the shows during that time. But then also X-Men Evolution looks like it was more like a high school cast of
Yeah.
people. Like they're in
Mhm.
school, they're a little bit younger than the adults in the X-Men TV series or even the movies. So that's,
Mhm.
I mean, I can see how that show like super hit too.
Yeah, that show was tight. And it was the same. I mean, it was the same premise. It was the good guys versus the bad guys, but also it was like what you said, dealing with high school stuff, crushes, and oh, I don't know what to do today, and blah blah blah, whatever. Um, but yeah, that was a bit. Yeah, X-Men Evolutions. I love that show. Probably a little, honestly, probably a little more than the original, just cause Saturday mornings. I talked
Yeah.
about that, right? I was a big Saturday
Saturday
morning
mornings.
cartoon
Yep.
kid. Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah, so that was one of them. You know
It's
what though? Now,
9 o'clock.
it's funny though, because I mentioned Justice League, and I guess this is not really related, but it might. No, it's not because it's DC and X Men is Marvel. But do you remember Justice Friends?
Mm. I remember Justice League,
Bro,
but Justice
Justice
Friends.
Friends was like way back in the day, kind of like He-Man type stuff.
Oh damn.
And it was like Superman and them, and they was like fighting. And it was like I remember they had the twins, and one would turn into a bucket, and the other one would turn into a fish, like a bucket of
What?
water.
What?
It was like
What's your
twins.
superpower? Bucket of water.
No,
Bucket of water, man.
they would turn into stuff that they would need to use.
Okay.
That's so
Nice.
funny. Like comic books were so whimsical, and so the comic book TV shows were also very whimsical back in the day, and now they're so serious. They're like
Yeah.
literally dramas. And what's so like Shazam, when Shazam came out, um, a lot of people were like, "Oh, they play too much."
That's
But
supposed to
to
be what it
me,
is.
that's right. Like to me, I was like, wait, but comic, like if you guys understand comics, like in the beginning, comics were very just playful and ditzy and just like, oh no, he stole the remote. He's it wasn't as high stakes as it was now. And I think I actually really enjoyed Shazam. And I know this is totally off of X-Men, but I'm just
Group of superheroes.
but yeah, that's crazy how it's evolved. And also I want to say
Evolved.
X-Men started this. They started this, bro. Like a lot of people pointed to Marvel, a lot of people pointed to, I mean, X-Men is Marvel, but a lot of people pointed to Iron Man. And I know I sound like an Iron Man hater on this episode, but I promise you I'm not. Robert Downey Jr., what up? Come on the podcast. Come on the show, Robert Downey Jr., RDJ, come on. But X-Men was really, that was really where it started for a lot of us. For a lot of us, that's where the whole comic book being like a serious movie, that's where it started.
Well, they were the Avengers before the Avengers. Like I didn't even think of that till you were mentioning it now. They were a big group of like badass superheroes that were working together. And not until we had all the Avengers come out, and whatever the first Avengers movie was, whatever year that was the first time we saw a bunch of really big superheroes teaming up since then, I think.
The only difference that I will give the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Avengers is like I don't think when they first started doing the Iron Man and the Hulk and all of these, to me, like I I kind of was expecting one or two of them to come together,
Mhm.
and that crossover, like the idea of a crossover with like a bunch of characters from a bunch of standalone films coming together, like that was such a foreign concept. It wasn't even it wasn't even a like I don't think anybody even expected it. Like I
It
think
wasn't on anybody's radar when that first Hulk came out, or
I
they're
mean
like,
I
"Oh,
mean
it's
not on casual listeners. No, I mean casual watchers. I don't think so. And for them to do that, that was very monumental. As opposed to X-Men, where like we expect them to come into a group, you
yeah,
know. But had they done like I always think about this, like what if they were to come? So if I was the X-Men, or if I was another group of characters who come together, and if they were to propose, like if Netflix were to come to me and say, "Hey, how would you roll this out?" I would want to do like a TV show, 12 episodes with 6 different characters. Each character gets like they do first 6 episodes where they introduce a character, and the next 6 episodes where they dive into who they are and why they are, and they're kind of like their origin stories. So then you'd have 12 episodes, hour-long episodes. The first 6 would introduce 6 different characters, and the
oh,
second
okay,
6 would introduce how they came to be who they are. And then boom, you hit them with a movie like a year later, and you bring them all together. Bro, I think that would be so cold. Like
yeah,
the reason why the Avengers worked is because they all had the origin story that we were somewhat invested in. Like I know I super was
for
into the
years."
yeah, and then they all came together. We cared about every character, you know,
Mhm.
uh, and yeah, and X-Men. I mean, and X-Men too. They had such an upper hand when they came into the 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 real action, real live action film
Yeah,
area,
hmm
because we all like kids that grew up on it, we cared about these characters. And like they didn't need to do the whole introduction phase like that Marvel had to do,
oh,
because we all knew Cyclops, we all knew Storm, we all knew Jean Grey, we all knew Professor X, Magneto, like we knew all of these characters. So for them to come in, they didn't even have to introduce nobody. Like they just
it was already done by the TV show.
Wolverine and Sabretooth hated each other and had similar powers, and they didn't have to say, "Oh, he's a super smeller guy. He can hunt you down with your scent." Like they didn't have to do that because we knew from the cartoons. Like a
Yeah,
lot of people watched it. So yeah, so X-Men coming together was kind of like Avengers, because to us, we already knew who these people were, you know?
yeah.
That was
Seeing
dope.
them on the big screen was big time. Um, are there any like characters that were your favorites, or that you would use in like a street fight that you would want to have with you? Strongest X-Men?
So there was an episode in X-Men Evolutions where Scott's brother came.
Oh.
And Scott's brother, I think his name was Luke Summers or something like that. And Scott used to shoot from his eyes, but Luke used to shoot from his hands. And I
Oh,
just
okay.
thought that was so cool. Like, you know,
I
I
can
just thought
aim
it
this
was,
shit.
yeah, I thought that was so cool. So he was one of the ones that I was like, dang, I wish he was around, because when he came up to me, I was like, man, Scott, get the hell out of here, right? You can't even
Nope.
take your glasses off. You know what I'm saying? But probably him, probably Jean Grey was super
No,
strong.
man.
Even Professor X, like I know that he sucks in every movie. But
Such a
Professor X,
liability.
they said they had to do that. So I read about it. And they said the movie writers would figure out a way to stifle Professor X, because they didn't want it to be a 10-minute movie, but
Yeah.
they didn't want him to get involved, but they also didn't want his powers to be understated. Like they didn't want him to seem like a weakling, like he's fighting alongside,
Mhm.
because he's supposed to be like one of the greatest in the comics. He's supposed to be one of the biggest powers. So they had to
Dang.
stifle him in a lot of movies, or distract him with a task bigger than you could even imagine. You have to find a mutant with Cerebro for 7 hours.
Cerebro. He's all his eyes closed, just out there searching for people through this giant Disney ball.
What a little moicolo that guy, yo. You can see people in their houses. Yo, Professor X, you have some explaining to do. You have some explaining to do.
You have to trust in Professor X's integrity. Like, this is the goodest guy. You know, there's no way he's using it for nefarious purposes. But he would be like super
what color?
strong.
What color are Jean Grey's panties right now?
Jean, come to Cerebro. What was Jean Grey's powers? She was like mini Professor X?
Yeah, she was, yeah.
And then turned into like the super Professor X?
Yeah. She turned into the Phoenix. She harnessed the power of the Phoenix. And
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, she went crazy.
Man, yeah, Professor X's superpowers, but they would make him either be non-violent or something, so that he wouldn't use them to just totally smack out the rest of the opponents. I think I can't remember where I heard or read this, but someone said Magneto and Professor X were kind of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Like Professor X was MLK.
Wait, what?
So Professor X is supposed to be MLK, who's like peaceful, let's chill out, and then Magneto was supposed to be, after Malcolm X was like, we're done with this, we are fighting back, we're doing it now, brotherhood, let's go.
That's a wild comparison, but it makes sense.
Yeah, that's like, and especially for the time when it was coming out, like the 60s.
Oh yeah,
it made a more sense of connection. The Beast was like this big ass, strong, blue, furry monster that was also like a super lab professor, and he was over there doing experiments. Like, I hope this doesn't explode, but it would be cool for science if it did, just like in the beakers and stuff.
Oh, nerd, bro.
He could like hang upside down or walk on walls too. He was dope. Yeah, obviously Cyclops. Some of the other ones, Storm, control all the weather. But Rogue, you remember Rogue?
Do I? Is that Anna Paquin? Right?
Is it?
Think
maybe.
So.
But her power was, if she touches you, she takes your power. And she can fly around and stuff. That was dope. Jubilee.
Oh, fireworks.
Is that it? Like strong firework blast?
In the cartoon, at least, that's what she was doing.
That's exactly what it looked like. Fireworks coming out of. But yeah, her arc starts in the first episode of the X-Men show, and the X-Men is already set up with all these, OGs: Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, Rogue. But it's Jubilee.
Didn't Rogue like have a thing with Wolverine for a little bit?
Yeah, was it Wolverine or Gambit? Or there's so many different relationships and triangles.
No, hey, them X-Men was horny as
Yo, they were like all strong, like, I'll beat you up for her.
I think because Wolverine has the power to heal.
Yeah.
And I think she was touching him and he was healing and hurting at the same time.
There was I know there was one scene in one of the movies, I forget which one, but Rogue I think was injured, like she was like stabbed in the stomach or something.
Oh, and
was
she
dying,
took his
and
power,
she needed his like healing powers.
ability.
Yeah, so she was able to survive by
bro,
taking Wolverine's powers.
I'm the horny one thinking they was I thought they was getting ready to do something, but I guess it was to save his
save his life. Oh, also, every time Wolverine unleashes his claws, apparently they rip through his skin. So he needs that healing power for when they retract for it to all close up.
Did you watch? Well, I think it might have been Logan, but it was one of the Wolverine origin movies, and it was Bones when he was
yeah.
It was his bones. He would pop his bones out. Yeah,
it was like
it was metal.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so he had the growing skeleton and healing powers before. Oh, right. He was like an animal version of Wolverine.
And then Stryker turned him into a Weapon X.
What was that? There was like a bad guy mutant team used for
Yeah, the
like SEAL Team
military,
Six stuff,
and
military stuff.
that was where Deadpool and them came in. And
Yes. Was it
Deadpool was
Striker?
supposed, yeah, Striker, yeah. Yeah, Deadpool was supposed to be like the replacement Weapon X, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, like all the superpowers mixed into one body.
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool.
and now
Deadpool
the
3, which is coming out in July this
yeah
year,
with
featuring Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for one more time.
one more time, they need to bring him back. Sign a 10-year contract. We need to.
Dude, old Wolverine and Deadpool. Yeah, those
Did
two
you?
are really good together too. They're
Yeah.
hella funny.
Did you like the real action movies? Right. Um, Logan is the best. I don't care what nobody say. That movie was incredible. But also, Days of Future Past.
Hmm.
You remember the premise of that movie?
Magneto was going to the Cuba Missile crisis, using that as a cover to blow up America.
I think that was like, yeah. But before that, there was like a dystopian future, and everybody,
Oh.
they had all lost. And I think it was Rogue. It was somebody. Somebody had developed their powers so they could transport a person's conscious to a previous point in their life, so they could like basically time travel.
Whoa.
So then they were like going back and forth and seeing like what they could do in the very beginning of that movie, and they figured out, well, Logan is the best option because he's been around for so long.
Hmm.
And it was the Sentinels. I think it was the Sentinels that were like taking over the world in the future, in this distant future. So they shot Logan's consciousness to his body from 1960s. And so he went back in time with this newfound knowledge. And so he went in the 60s and he was traveling around and trying to gather everyone. And I think Professor X was like a drunk. He
Yay!
was like a drunk and he didn't care about anything, and he had to go find all these people so that they could stop this Sentinel project. It was a project launched by the government, and it was Dinklage, Peter Dinklage,
Yeah,
that's his name. The dude from Game of Thrones.
yeah.
He was the guy, the politician behind it. And so they had to fight off in the past. That's how that movie came about, so that they could rectify the future. Um,
Damn. That's why Professor X lets Wolverine do whatever the hell he wants because he saved his life from being a drunk and started the
yeah,
X Men.
yeah, pretty much, you know. And so yeah, so that movie was good. I like that
Nice.
movie. I like the first two X-Men movies,
Yep.
Logan and that movie.
Yeah.
I think everything else is pretty forgettable to me, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. Those same ones. X Men 1, X Men 2, Logan. I definitely need to watch Days of Future Past. I feel like I know the second half better than the first half of that movie. But as far as new releases for X Men coming up, that Deadpool 3, where Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is going to be in it, comes out in July. And then a new X Men TV show is in production for Disney Plus that's supposed to be releasing this year.
I don't know if it's new.
Oh, what?
Is it not? Because remember they said X-Men 97. They said
X Men
the old.
97, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be a re-release. I
Oh,
could
I
be
thought
wrong
X
though.
Men 97 was like a new show that they were making that was based in 97.
I could be wrong. Um, but yeah. So also for those of y'all that don't know, Marvel also acquired the rights to X-Men again from Sony.
Nice.
So they're gonna come out with some new X-Men movies, and I'm excited because even though the new Marvel stuff has been lacking, I think part of it is because they can't establish new characters anymore. Like they can't.
Yeah.
They've tried with all these Disney Plus shows, and I think the rollout is correct. I just think people are kind of like Marvel fatigue. I think they're done.
Yeah.
They're tired of having to care about new characters, and I get it. I understand. I'm still fully invested, but for X-Men, for them to get X-Men like a show that they don't really need to roll out. They don't need to prep the viewers to be like, hey, this character is this person. Like for them to just have a batch of characters to pull from that everybody's gonna know about, I think it'll work well in their favor. I think that with the whole Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom, like
Yeah.
all of that stuff that's coming out, it's just gonna work so. I think it's gonna work so well because they don't have to do the shaky ground where they have to introduce
Take
Ironheart in the
time to
middle.
do that.
Yeah, like having to introduce Ironheart in the middle of Black Panther sucked. You know, all of these Moon Knights and Kamala Khan, I think that's her name, and all these characters that we just don't care about. Like it hasn't worked in this new phase of Marvel movies. But when they get the X-Men out, bro, we are not gonna care about an origin story. We want to see them fighting. We want to see who's who. I want to see Hugh Jackman running through the woods. I'm too old for this. I got that's it. That's it.
You
I'm
running through the woods.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be dope. We're excited. Yeah, we've been excited about X-Men for 30 years, guys, and it's all popping off. There's new stuff coming up. I think that X-Men '97 is going to be a brand new show, picking up where the old X-Men left off in '97.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully that's super dope. But it's going to be a cartoon. So bunch of voice actors. It was like Cal Dodd as Wolverine. I was like, who the hell is Cal Dodd? Is this old ass dude? And I'm like, oh, it's a cartoon. It's a voice actor. My bad.
What so if you were in the X-Men or the Brotherhood, what power would you want?
Ooh. Interesting. I want to fly. I
Yeah.
definitely want to be able to get up in like higher ground a situation and swoop down and like.
But I mean, okay, so I guess you're gonna cheat and get two powers. Because if you just fly up, what you gonna do? Like, he's over there.
Yo, freaking fly away. Fly away, fly around the building, come back, hit you in the blind side. You didn't see that coming. Just like
so yeah, so you can fly, but what else would you have? Because a lot of people fly.
Mind reading. Oh, mind reading.
Lance.
Bro.
Your powers don't make sense at all, Lance.
Fly around, see what people are trying to plan? No.
Why can't you just read their mind from the ground? Like I would think you want like a laser beam or something. You know, you get different vantage points to shoot them. You finna fly on the building so you can read their mind? When you can read their mind from the car?
I could just take a sniper rifle. I could fly up with weapons.
Yo, the fact that you think you could just take a sniper rifle and then shoot a superhero, a super villain who's probably moving at lightning speed, yo, you have incredible confidence in your
if Hawkeye can sit on a building and blow up a bunch of aliens, I can do it with my flying powers.
Okay. All right. Hey.
No, well, I'm not like an attack mutant. I'm just like a defense. Okay. Well, what about you? If you could have any superpower?
I think I would have to play up on the big Samoan trope and probably get like indestructibility or something.
Some Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, Juggernaut was. Yeah. Once he got going, something like could not stop him.
Something like that. Cause honestly, bro, like if I'm in a fight and we in a war, like I'm probably not gonna be like aware of everything happening. So I'm finna get hit from the side or, you know, I'm like focused on this guy over there and the building might fall. I need indestructibility because, you know what I'm saying? I'm not spatially aware, you know?
Just get some teammates, maybe one that can fly, swoop you up before the building falls down on you, put you in a better position.
Hold on. But if you fly and you got two, I want two. So I'm gonna do that one and indestructibility. Imagine this: an indestructible Samoan static shock. That's what I want. That's what I want. And then you know what I'm saying? I can have a friend who
can make fly too.
Oh yeah. See, I got 3, but for the price of 2. You know what I'm saying? But then I have a friend who can make it rain, and all of a sudden, you know, water conducts electricity. You know what I'm saying? Unless I fight like a Geodude type of villain, then I'm freaking out of luck. Because it doesn't work on
Samoan static shock. Oh damn, is that Brock? Oh no. Onyx is no, get me out of here. I wish I could fly. I can fly.
But I'm indestructible though. I'll be good. But
You
it's
gonna be
still
stuck in Onyx bind the whole battle, waiting for you to come out and knock down these buildings.
like,
I'm
Lance,
stuck.
Lance, help me fly around and read his mind.
He's gonna keep doing it to you. He's gonna keep doing it. He's gonna keep doing it.
He's not tired at all.
The
Lance,
bind has lasted 6 turns.
Lance, fly and give me some real help, please. Lance, call 911. Use your powers and contact someone who can actually help.
Hey, go get help.
That's what you should get. You should fly. You can read minds, and you got a phone that can call in any.
You got a satellite phone
jurisdiction.
and a sniper rifle.
Just you remember like back on like Saving Private Ryan, where it was like a whole backpack for the phone. That's what you need.
There's
So
a
you can
radio guy whose job was to just carry the radio on his back.
and then you could come with like a booklet that tells you 911 in every country. So when we're fighting in Switzerland and I need help, you could just exactly who to call. We need help. Call Lance to call for help. They need my help. I can read their minds.
See,
wow,
teamwork. Everybody has a job.
Damn, man. You know how you get dispersed into different groups for a mission. Yeah. Like,
shut the.
Damn it, man. We got Lance.
Hey, we're gonna have backup though. Yeah, but he just flies around while we're working. Oh, there's people coming. Yeah, we can see them.
They're planning on hurting you. Yeah. They have their weapons out because they want to greet us, Lance.
That's one of the lessons of X-Men. Find your powers, use it for good, figure out how it fits into the team. Do your part for the team.
Wait. Let's do what. So shout out to my brother Marcus. Our brother Marcus. What would Marcus's powers be?
Oh, man, mind powers.
Why is you so infatuated with mind powers?
Those are the best things.
Lance,
what do you think they would be?
For Marcus, probably the power to grow, like the power to have a bandana over your eyes and the power to grow a turtle shell on your back.
This is just coming out the sewer. This rat grandfather, get to Marcus. It's got all four.
I'm Marcatello.
Yeah. Dagger staff.
Yeah. Shout out to X-Men. Shout out to the Ninja Turtles. Shout out to the Pacifica Movie Star Kid, the Politics Podcast. Shout out to Marcus.
Hey, shout out to flying around and calling for help. Thank you.
Don't shout that out. No, if you shout them out, you're going to shout out for
superhero name for the guy that just flies around and calls for backup.
Sir Lancelot.
Lancelot, find us some people.
Oh man, are we missing anything? Are we missing anything else from X-Men?
I mean, with as big as the franchise is, I'm sure we didn't touch on some parts, but yeah, that was that was fun. That ending too was great. Everything we know about X-Men, we've watched the toys, the video games. Yeah, anything else?
Let us know what we missed in the comments, man. If y'all are as big of X-Men fans as we are, let us know what y'all favorite medium was, where it was the TV shows back then, the new TV shows, X-Men Evolutions, the movies, the standalone movies, I mean the comics. There might be some people the comics or the video games. There was that's right. There was a video game, it was like an X-Men video game, and I just remember it was on Xbox. And I remember you could choose different characters like up, down, left, right on the D-pad. And you could like warp to different characters. And I just remember playing that game all the time. I don't remember what it was called. And I don't remember. I just remember there was like a snow. It was like in the snow. They also had an X-Men game, Wolverine game. I
Nice.
remember that one a lot because you could use like his Wolverine senses and like everything slows down and you can attack people faster.
Nice.
Um, dang, I want to play those games now. I want to
I
get an
feel
X.
like they're out there now too, right? They're probably a lot cheaper than they were when they first came out, so we could
Probably.
definitely go and play those video games.
I want to play it. I want to play. So yeah, man. Shout out to the games and shout out to all that. Anything else, brother?
No, I think that's it. Shout out to everybody listening. Appreciate you guys tapping in to our second episode of 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit us up or even email us waybackttimepod@gmail.com or on Instagram wbw_pod. This has been the Way Back Wednesday podcast, a nostalgic podcast conversation about X-Men. I am Lance Falatongo.
And I'm 7M.
And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening. Pop.
Peace.